Hello, everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 36, the season finale of Season 6 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Banquet 400 at Kansas Speedway, our second trip here at the best track we go to on the schedule, as I like to mention every time we come here, for obvious reasons, and you'll find out once we go green. But we are here at the finale where we will determine a champion. And we got three contenders for the championship this season: Rob Evans, Jessica Shelton, and the mathematical long shot of Benjamin Miles. But before we get into everything related to the race and the championship, I am not alone for this commentary. Please welcome James Qualls.
Was
Welcome, Qualls. Glad to have you on the commentary booth for this race, because this is going to be quite the exciting race, considering, like I've said already, Kansas is the best track we go to in this series, and you're about to find out why. But what expectations do you have for this race in terms of the racing we might see and this championship battle? So first we'll talk about the race, and then I'll ask you for your prediction for the championship.
well, the racetrack itself, obviously. I mean, let's think about it this way. In real life, you wouldn't think of Kansas as kind of a track that sees good races and good racing and everything. Because, well, people, including moi, call this track a bit of a bore fest in some ways, like every other mile and a half track we go to anymore nowadays. But all kidding aside, though, I mean, this it's like you said, though. I think this will be a pretty good race you're about to see here today.
All right, and now let's talk about the three drivers battling for the championship. So first we got rookie newcomer Rob Evans, who has had quite the season for his first time in the Marvel Studios Cup, driving for Evans Gardner Racing this season. Came into this season unknown to the Marvel Studios Cup Series world, and has lit the charts in terms of statistics. Despite no wins, 8 top 5s and 16 top 10s, the most of anybody. Average finish at 15.8, 2 poles, currently leads the points by 17 points. So all he has to do is stay within 16 positions of Jessica Shelton, who we'll talk about in a moment, and he'll get the championship, as long as Jess doesn't lead a lap as well. Jessica Shelton, on the other hand, she's had a breakthrough season here in the Marvel Studios Cup. 3 wins, most top 5s of anybody at 10, and 15 top 10s, with an average finish of 17th. And she comes in 17 points out of the championship, so she's going to have to finish 17 spots or more over Rob Evans to get the championship. And then the final contender, which is the long shot mathematical man, Benjamin Miles, who over the course of the last 10 or so races has been really stepping his game up. Got a win at, if I'm trying to remember right now, I believe South Carolina he won, and that race was an utter disaster. But he won there, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, average finish of 14.4, or 17.4, and he's 41 points out. So the big scenario he's going to have to hope for is to hope that both Rob and Jess wreck out, finish in the bottom 5 when they don't get points, and Miles finishes somewhere between 1st and 7th in hopes of winning the championship. So it's a long shot for Benjamin, but he is mathematically in contention. But the primary battle is between Rob and Jess. So with that said, Qualls, who out of those 3 do you think has the best chance to win this championship?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the way I had this figured out, though, Rob and for Miles win the championship, he's gonna have to win the race and hope Rob and Jess be the bottom 2 finishers. That's basically what's going to have to end up happening for Benjamin Miles and win this championship. Not to mention lead the most laps of the race as well, en route to winning the race. but to me, it's just it's between Rob and Jess right now, and I think Rob Evans has got a little bit of a history to show here too, because he's got a shot of win the championship without winning a race. And I don't think in any our series it's ever even happened.
Yeah, I can't
So
recall. Maybe season 1 when Tanner Sullivan won the championship. I don't think he won a race, but since then we have had at least every champion up to this point has had at least one win. So other than season 1, we could have history made today if that were the case. But if you ask me, my prediction for the championship, I mean, it's a toss-up between, of course, Rob and Jess, with Miles being the long shot.
yeah,
But if I'm gonna go with somebody, I'm gonna go with Jessica Shelton, just because she's got the, well, second most wins, most top fives, and second most top tens, and the second best average finish. She could eventually improve all those stats to being the best in all forms. But we gotta wait till the race begins and the race to end to see how that's gonna happen. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the race today. Starting in the last row, we have Joey Parkhill and Cole Deaver. And the top 10, Jordan Forbes, first pole of his career and of the season for him. So he's going to be in the Bud Shootout for next season in Season 7. Starting next to him is the points leader, Rob Evans. Row 2 is Kyle Matthews and James McLeod. Row 3, Charles Sanford, Caleb Kilburn. Row 4, Rafael LeDuc, Jay Jefferson. And then row 5, Chris Dollarton and Dylan Young. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the command to fire engines for the finale at Kansas.
Drivers, start your engines.
All 40 drivers now on the racetrack for their one pace lap around here. And of course, not only is this the season finale for this season, but this is actually the final race for quite a few drivers who are either retiring or going on long hiatuses. Guys like McLeod, McCrory, Poteet, Fiegel, Hartnett, among a few others who are going to either be retiring or taking a break. So for now, this is the final race for some of those guys. Trent Dunham as well, and a few others I can't name off the top of my head. So a lot of those guys would like to finish the season off strong with a win or a top 10 finish. But the pace car pulling in the pit road now, and ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. For one last time in Season 6, boogity, 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 let's go racing.
several drivers wasting no time, actually making moves going into turn number 1 here. As you see Kyle Matthews to the inside of Rob Evans as they're trying to make his way, trying to lead his first lap of the race here. Oh, that was a good first lap.
And James McLeod, who actually won back at California just a couple of days ago to get his fourth win of the season, most of anybody. Yeah, he's definitely wanting to finish his career in this series with a 5th win this season. And I think that would be the record, for the most wins in a single season in the Marvel Studios Cup Series, possibly. So there is that potential opportunity for James McLeod. But right now, Rafael LeDuc hangs on to the race lead for the time being. But look at Cole Baker in the 18, who, remember, next season will still be in the number 18, but it's going to be a Chevy, and he's going to be moving to Backmarker Motorsports. But Cole Baker actually comes into this race 16th in points, has a victory under his belt. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season and of his career. And then right behind, one of the other retiring drivers after this season, Dylan Poteet. And Poteet and McLeod, after this season, have both decided to retire Tweenix Racing from this series. So Tweenix Racing in its final hoorah right now is Poteet in second, McLeod in third. Best friends working together to work their way up to the front. Poteet has the lead, but here comes McLeod back to the front.
And not to mention, remember, Dylan had a great time with his buddies at Sonoma this season for the Monster Energy Cup Series race.
Yeah, a lot of the veteran drivers in this series are going to really miss those guys racing with them after this season. That is, unless they decide to come out of retirement at some point in the near future. But for now, this is their final hurrah.
And yours truly being one of them that will miss them too, though. I mean, McLeod and Poteet, of course, the two of the legends in NNSCRA competition. Of course, regardless of what series they run, if there's any word you can describe the guys like them, it's legendary, and that's basically what it is.
Anyways, new leader James Qualls, who I saw started 33rd in the starting lineup, already 6 laps in, up to the front. This is a prime example of how good the racing here at Kansas is. You can start the very back and in no time get up to the front if you know how to make your moves and hit your marks. But now Qualls leads, but here comes Jordan Forbes to try and get back to the front, hopefully get to lead a lap that he didn't get to at the start of the race.
Sometimes you hate to have that happen, don't you? I mean, you start from the pole and never even get to lead a lap and never even get to lead the first lap here. Looks like you lead this one though, but as provided the card. Oh, that was close. I think he did get it.
He did get it as Seth Cole in the 98. Oh, the caution is out. Oh man, this could be huge depending on who was involved in whatever happened. Kyle Matthews, Joshua Sekuli, Chris Dollarton were involved. Carson Gum, Michael Norman, Benjamin Miles, one of the championship contenders. He's got some damage on the front end. Charles Sanford was in it. Melissa Alexander, Logan Bradley, Emmanuel Hartnett with some severe front end damage. Jessica Shelton, second in points, was in it too. Oh my goodness, and other drivers I don't even know about. Jonathan Zorline, Dylan Jacobs was in it. So this must have been a big wreck right here on the front stretch. And just two of the 3 championship contenders were in it.
Major hood buckle I noticed on Shelton's car too.
As everybody came into the pits, Rob Evans, I think he might have just clinched this championship because Miles and Shelton are heavily damaged. Rob Evans was last scored 3rd before they came into the pits. Oh my goodness, this is going to be huge.
Oh my gosh.
This is a huge deal, and I think Rob Evans has just clinched the championship as a result, depending on what happens. Let's try and find the 02 and the 22. Well, Benjamin Miles trying to get some of that damage repaired. I don't even see Jessica Shelton anywhere as I'm trying to find her, and I think she might have. Is she out of the race?
Yep, I think.
I can't tell. Yes, she is. Her championship hopes are dashed just like that.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness.
What a major turn of events here in the finale at Kansas. But at that pit stop's end, Jordan Forbes got out to the front, so he stays the race leader. As, yeah, look at all these skid marks we're going through on the front stretch, as we're going to take a break and see what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Kansas. Well, this is going to be one of the longest wrecks we have ever had in this series history. As watch, going into turn 3, Carson Gum, I don't know if he had a problem with Joshua Sekuli from earlier or if he just got really, really tight, but he just got up and turned and flat out dumped the 10 of Joshua Sekuli. And then as all this happens, there's a lot of smoke and it's causing a lot of cars to scramble. And then watch as the 10 comes back up the track into Kyle Matthews and into Melissa Alexander. But watch those two, the 6 and the 42, side-to-side hits, and they both go up into the air and upside down. Well, Kyle goes on his side, but look at Melissa Alexander riding the catch fence. And Jonathan Zorline almost barrel rolled, and I don't know how that car stayed on all four tires. That was insane. But let's go up to Jessica Shelton because she was second in points coming in. Yeah, she just had absolutely nowhere to go. The wreck is happening up ahead. And then right there, Logan Bradley just revved up and just ran right over Dylan Jacobs, and Jessica Shelton just had nowhere to go. And there's Benjamin Miles third in points, who really needed to win and hoped the O2 and the 80A would have wrecked. But not the case, as numerous drivers sustained some major damage. But how in the world did Baskinger, Fiegel, and Kilburn get through all that? Let's actually go and rewind and see how those three, they just kept it onto the outside line and just somehow, someway got through. Let's watch the 54. He's just kind of boxed in up there. Doesn't run over anybody, manages to get on the brakes. Same with the 15, the 99, and even DJ Curtis managed to slow down a little bit. The 43 of Collard. So those five, unbelievable job of missing all of this. I don't know how anybody could have missed this, considering how blocked the racetrack was, but that was less than half the field, roughly, that got taken out in that mess. And two of the three of those were championship contenders, so it seems like it's safe to say that Rob Evans has won the championship. But we still got a race to run, so let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Kansas.
I think he was talking about that. That crash and how those three drivers up on the high side got through the crash. I think it's a case of where those three drivers just kind of close their eyes, roll the dice, and see what happens. And in this case, boldness produced fruit for those guys.
And as a result of all that, 7 cars are out of the race, and they include Jessica Shelton, Michael Norman, Logan Bradley, Emmanuel Hartnett, Joshua Sekuli, Chris Dollerton, and Kyle Matthews, with Carson Gum being 1 lap down. 33 cars on track, 32 on the lead lap. Top 20 when we get back to racing with 28 to go. Jordan Forbes is the leader. Second, Bradley Zorgdrager. Third, Rob Evans. Fourth, Seth Cole. Fifth, Cole Baker. Sixth is Jay Jefferson. Seventh, Zachary Fitzwater. Eighth, Jake Rogers. Ninth, Dylan Poteet. 10th, James Qualls. 11th, Cody Lamas. 12th, Johnny Gardner. 13th, James Shelley. 14th, Cole Deaver. 15th, Phil Parker. 16th, Joey Parkhill. 17th is Rafael Leduc. 18th, Matt McIntyre. 19th, Trent Dunham. And then 20th, Anthony McCrory. And we're getting ready to go back to racing, and I just would like to know, how in the world is Melissa Alexander still running on the racetrack after flipping on the catch fence? She's still got the car on the racetrack, hoping she can still get some points. And Carson Gum jumped way ahead of the leaders to try to get back on the lead lap, but you can tell the speed difference because of how damaged his car is. And Bradley Zorgdrager's going to squeak right on by and take the race lead from Jordan Forbes as a result, as meanwhile Cole Baker now up to second.
I think to answer your question about Melissa Alexander's car, I think you might say, I guess she's got a great
Pit
chassis
crew.
builder and great and good fabricators too. I will say that for sure.
Even though I think at some point, if this race stays green the whole way through, I feel like they will catch up to her, and then that's going to really shake up the field quite a bit. But Bradley Zorgdrager leads with 26 to go. Poteet, Shelley, and Seth all running the bottom to try and catch up to the 66. Jay Jefferson, who's just trying to get this season out of the way, considering next season he's going to be joining a brand new team called the Kyle Racing Corporation, teammates with Kyle Matthews and James Qualls in Season 7, and moving to the number 5 car, which is really interesting. And right now going for second underneath of Shelley, as Poteet currently holds on to the top spot. Dylan Poteet, as I've stated earlier, this is his retirement race, as he actually came into this race 15th in points. So in recent races, he's been falling a little bit in the point standings, but he would definitely love to get a good run to end his long career on this YouTube channel in terms of NR 2003 offline competition. And are we under... Oh, I thought we were under caution again. I thought I saw yellow lights, but I guess I'm just seeing things. As Jay Jefferson currently leads the way. Battle on for second as here comes the eventual champion, Rob Evans, up to second. But even though he's pretty much got the championship under wraps, he wants to get that win so bad to finally get his first career win. But right now he's going to have competition in the form of Anthony McCurry, and actually his teammate Johnny Gardner's up here too.
We all know how well Johnny and Rob work together, as we've seen in online racing, especially on the plate tracks.
Absolutely, but Rob's now going to slip back several spots as a result, and Jay Jefferson maintaining the race lead for now. McCurry, however, trying to reel him in, and also keep in mind, Anthony McCurry, this is also his retirement race, and he came in this race 5th in the points, so he's had a very, very good final season of his career, but he would definitely love to get his first win of the season and final of his career. Dylan Young, on the other hand, who will be back in the 2-car next season, he's just trying to end Season 6 on a high note, considering how abysmal he's been running. Despite getting a victory earlier in the year, 37th in points really, really doesn't help much. But nonetheless, having a great day right now in 3rd. And then right now, the highest running rookie is Jordan Forbes, as he's trying to go for his 4th top 5/top 10 of his career and of the season. But he definitely can't wait to move on to Season 7, especially considering Kamikaze Racing is going to go through a bit of an overhaul, a new teammate as Jefferson moves from that 87 to a new team. Jake Rogers is going to be joining Kamikaze Racing to drive the 87, joining Dylan Jacobs and Jordan Forbes, and they're going to Chevy next season, considering Season 7's basically going to be manufacturer's civil war, Chevy versus Ford, who can come out on top manufacturer-wise. Meanwhile, battle for second, Dylan Pote trying to come back to the front of the field.
Pote's got a very strong car right now, as you see him move up on the back of Jefferson's machine.
And DJ Curtis, who narrowly avoided the big one earlier, he's now up to the 3rd position, trying to go for his 2nd win of the season and finish his season off in the top 10 in points as well. But right now, Poteet hanging on to that top spot. New contenders, Caleb Kilburn, who this season has had one of the best rookie seasons of anybody in the history of this series. 9th in points, tied for the 2nd most amount of wins at 3. He's definitely been having a lot of fun in this series, and he will be back in the 99, and actually will take over ownership of Average Joe Enterprises next season, which will be really, really fun to see what happens. And he currently runs 5th, as there's a bit of a cluster of cars up ahead of him. Look at the run Jordan Forbes got on the bottom off turn 2. And he's catching Poteet for the lead again.
Got some horsepower in that Toyota, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. In that Yoshi's Island car, which he will have that same sponsorship for next season, but the paint scheme's a little bit different, and they are going to catch the slow cars of Melissa Alexander and Carson Gum. Could this help bring more cars into the battle for the win, or is this just going to be a big cluster, you-know-what? Oh, Carson got into Poteet, but narrowly avoids wrecking. Holy crap, Carson.
I thought Poteet was gone. Jeez.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have another big one on our hands. But right now, Carson and Melissa doing the smart thing and move up to the outside to get out of everyone's way. As everyone darts to the inside to go by those two machines. I don't know if they're going to, if the leaders are going to catch up to them again or not. I mean, as we're coming through the line, it's 13 to go. Wow, Rob Evans went right up to the outside, 3 wide to go on by, and actually gained a position as a result, which is incredible. to quote Kyle Petty.
Yeah, that's one thing some people don't realize. I think lap cars can be used as a pickup. They can also be served as a kind of a nuisance to some extent too.
Absolutely. As battle for the lead between rookies, Jordan Forbes had it, but Caleb Kilburn is taking it. As Kilburn takes the top spot on the track for now, he's trying to go for his 4th win of his career and of the season to tie with James McLeod, but McLeod's trying to go for a record to end his long, successful career in this series and on this channel in general, trying to go for win number 5 of Season 6, and he's going to have a run coming off turn 2. Here he comes, darting to the bottom, and off he goes.
And good to say these words again, James McLeod is leading the race.
And we got some even other new contenders. Joey Parkhill, another rookie, and he will be back next season, as well as his wife, Melissa Alexander, in the Zev Bellringer Enterprise team that they will be forming next season. An exclusive husband and wife organization based on their worship of everyone's favorite porn star. But I digress. Anyways, McLeod's still hanging on, but Jefferson, he's coming up hot to try and get the race lead. But Poteet, McLeod's friend and teammate, he's one to make it a 1-2 for Tweenix once again in a race this season.
And of course, you add on to some of the great names that Tweenix has had also too. They've had guys like not just McLeod and Poteet, but also had, I think, Seth's driven for them, and as well as Trent Dunham and Sean Henley as well, back when Sean Henley was in our community.
But it's not just about those guys who are leaving after this season. Joshua Collard is another one who will be retiring after this season. Originally, he was going to come back in Season 7, considering he won the All-Star race earlier this season. But he decided to give that spot up to Jake Rogers to allow him to come back next season, and Collard's going to step away. Wow. That was a massive one. To step away from the series and focus on other things. And then other drivers that are going to be retiring or taking a hiatus. Tim Fiegel, probably just more likely a hiatus. Jake Baskinger, probably more or less going to retire after this season. For anyone else, Trent Dunham, this is more likely going to be a hiatus. He may return someday. And that's pretty much everyone I can think of. Back up at the front, McLeod still holding on. Poteet was second, but Caleb Kilburn trying to break the Tweenix Racing party up here.
Got quite a bit of racing left though. They're coming down to 5 to go this time by.
Yep, and let's check and see where Rob Evans is running. Last time scored in 9th, but he's going to drop to 10th and maybe even another spot possibly. But Rob Evans still has a shot to win this race. Don't think that just because he's that far back means that he's done for. He can easily make his way back up there, as he's not too far ahead. And Caleb Kilburn has the race lead once more.
Yeah, but I think I see a certain 87 coming back to try to take the lead again.
Yeah, Jefferson trying to take second away from Shelley. And I forgot to mention as well that Rob Evans not only is going to win the season championship, but also win Rookie of the Year as well, which is incredible. Mm-hmm. But he still wants to get that first win of the season. And Poteet about got into Jefferson there. As it's 3 laps to go here at Kansas, time is running out for drivers to make a stride at this win, as Rob Evans, smart move going to the bottom to try and gain some positions. Can he get by Shelley? Yes, he can. He's getting help from teammate Johnny Gardner as Rob Evans trying to make one final gasp to get up to the front. Poteet now has the lead. McLeod going to try and take second away from Jefferson if he can get to the bottom of him, which he does using the apron, to try and make it 1-2 for Tweenix one final time.
Poteet. This race ain't over yet, though. It's not by a long shot.
No, indeed not. Anybody up here in the top 10 has a virtual chance to win. Even Gardner, if he can hit his marks and get up there, he might still have a chance, but I don't know. White flag is out for Dylan Poteet and James McLeod out of Tweenix. Will it stay like this, or will McLeod make a move to go for his 5th win of the season and break a record? He's trying to reel in Poteet, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make the move happen, because here comes Jefferson with a run. I don't know, but I think it's going to be all Poteet in his final race of his career. Checkered flag, 2nd win of the season, and final of his career. Dylan Poteet wins the Banquet 400 at Kansas.
Great drive by Poteet right there in the end, and Jefferson got by McLeod for 2nd place.
Yeah, holy cow. Almost another 1-2 for Tweenix, but still both cars top 5 to finish their careers, and that team's history has come to an end. What a history that team of Tweenix Racing has had over the course of the last several years. Congratulations.
And very fitting too, because I mean, when that whole operation started back in 2011, it's been well, as you said though, I mean, the rest is pretty much history for those guys.
Absolutely, as Poteet gets his 2nd win of the season, final of his career in this series, and what a way to end a career on a high note with that victory. But let's take a look at the rest of the results. Jay Jefferson with a big charge at the end, almost got the win, but gets a 2nd place finish to end off what was a rather struggle of a year for that 87 car. James McLeod almost broke the record today, but still gets a great run in 3rd to end his career. And then Caleb Kilburn, highest finishing rookie, in 4th. Joshua Collard, another retirement driver, finishing top 5 and 5th. DJ Curtis with a great run in the 6th position. Zachary Fitzwater, solid run in the 7th spot. Jordan Forbes, another top 10 in the 8th spot. Jake Baskinger in his final race for the most part, finishing in 9th. And then Johnny Gardner rounding out the top 10. Rob Evans, our season champion, finished 14th as we go on through the rest of the results. And the bottom 5 who will not get points were Logan Bradley, Emmanuel Hartnett, Joshua Sekuli, Chris Dollerton, and Kyle Matthews. But that does it for our coverage for Kansas and for Season 6. Congratulations to Dylan Poteet for the final win of his career. Congrats to Rob Evans for winning Rookie of the Year and the Season 6 NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series Championship. And what was probably the best season for Marvel Studios Cup Series racing we have ever had. Absolutely incredible. But thank you guys so much who have been watching this series from the beginning, the season from the beginning. But we are going to be going on hiatus for a couple of months to get prepared for Season 7. Eventually the announcement of the roster and the paint schemes will be revealed before the season starts, as well as sign-ups for the NNSCRA Domino's NXT Truck Series that will run concurrently with Season 7 of Marvel Studios Cup here very soon. But thank you guys for watching. Congrats to Poteet and Rob Evans, and I'd like to thank James McLeod. Well, McLeod, I say thank you for being a part of this series for a long time. But I also want to thank James Qualls for stopping by the booth.
I've been called worse, Levi. You do know that.
After all, Kamikaze called Kyle Matthews Kyle Benjamin.
I'm calling it also. That's probably the moment in your series in season 6 or season 6.
That will never be forgotten about. Yeah.
That, and of course the whole Kermit the Frog Miss Piggy bit too as well. So.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Here are your results. Final rookie points and final regular points of the season. Thank you guys for tuning in to Season 6 Marvel Studios Cup Series by the NNSCRA. But until we meet again in Season 7, this is Levi McIntyre, signing off.